If you were given the chance to be in your dream destination for 3 days only, what would you do? If you are like me who has limited budget but is given the opportunity to be on an expensive island, what would you do in the 72 hours that you are given? How would you budget your time, your money, and your energy in your dream or once in a lifetime destination? Or simply put, how can you make the most out of your 72 hours in your dream destination or bucket list place? Well, I got you covered because in this video, I'll be sharing with you my experience as I went through one out of three of my dream destination, which is the Maldives. Hi everyone, my name is Paolo and welcome to my Maldives travel guide. So for context, I have been a frequent traveler of the world for about a decade now, or actually even more than that. And as I mentioned, Maldives is one of my dream destinations. In this video, we will be covering how to get to the Maldives, how to book, when to book, the food, the currency, the activities, and please stay until end of the video because I will be sharing with you my overall tips and travel hacks for the Maldives. It's one out of three of my bucket list places, and the other two would be Egypt and Greece. So hopefully I can visit those countries. But for now, let's talk about the Maldives and let's get on to the video. So let's start first with how to get to the Maldives. So let's understand first the travel requirements. Maldives does not have special travel requirements. It is actually visa upon arrival, so all you need to have is, of course, your valid passport and then your plane ticket. The visa will be given to you once you get into the island by their immigration officer. Now, when is the best time to go to the Maldives? There are basically two seasons in the Maldives, which is the on season and the off season, or the peak and the non-peak. So for the on season, that would be from April to November. So this one is more expensive, but the chances of raining are very little. And then obviously the reverse would be the non-peak seasons, which is December up until March of the following year. So for these times, there are higher chances of rain and the resorts are more cheaper compared to normal. So it's up to you whether or not you would want to risk that chances of rain if ever that you will be in the Maldives. Now, let's talk about currency. So in the Maldives, basically there are three ways on how you could spend your money. First one is through Maldivian rupees. Second one is US dollars. Yes, they accept US dollars. And finally, your credit card. So the Maldivian rupees, obviously this can be used anywhere, but please do take note that the Maldivian rupees can only be used in the Maldives. So if you will have to exchange your money for MDR, which is their currency, I suggest just do it sparingly. You could use that money, if you plan to, get food within the main island of the Maldives. But aside from that, you can expect them to be able to accept US dollars, both on the resorts and on the main islands. On the main resorts, though, most of them, or 90 to 95% of them, accept credit cards. So you don't have to worry about, shelling out or, having any pocket money with you as you go into the hotels. If you go into the main islands, though, by the way, please take note that not all places have cash cards or ATMs. So I suggest you withdraw your money in the airport. The airport, by the way, is the Villana International Airport. So, and keep the receipt when you get in there. Next is, let's talk about hotel transfer. So once you get into the Villana International Airport, there are three types of hotel transfers that you could book. If you plan to stay within the island, of course, you could just take buses. But if you plan to go outside, there are three. First one will be the Donny or the ferry. Second one will be speedboat. And then the third one will be seaplane. For the Donny, there are two options. You have the government-sponsored Donny, and then you have the public Donny. The government-sponsored Donny is $2 per person per way, and the public one is $5 per person per way. Please take note that the Donny is not operating during Fridays because, the Maldives being a predominantly Muslim country, they observe Fridays as their rest day. So please take note of that one. By the way, the Donny can take you around 1.5 to 2 hours from the Villano International Airport into your resort. So please do take note of the travel time. Next is the speedboat. So for the speedboat, this can take you around 30 minutes or 20 to 30 minutes into your resort depending on how far you are from the airport. However, the cost of this is significantly higher than the ferry. This one can cost you around $150 to $200 per person per way. And last but not the least, seaplane. The seaplane is the most expensive one. This could range around 400 to 700 US dollars per person per way. But please take note that the seaplane can take you 15 to 20 minutes to your resort, again, depending on where your resort is located. If it were me, I would strongly suggest you take the speedboat route because number one, it's convenient, it's not too expensive compared to the seaplane, and you could get to your resort faster. It's also safe and leaves almost every 30 minutes. Now, let's talk about the people of the Maldives. So I already mentioned that the Maldives is a Muslim predominant country, so you can expect their culture and their traditions to be Muslim-based. Overall, the Maldivians are warm, friendly, and very accommodating people. They are one of the warmest people that I have met aside from Filipinos, but you can expect them to really help you if you are in need. For example, the people in the resort would need to be very friendly, but outside of that, people in the airport would really greet you, assist you, and offer you some help because, it's just who they are. They're really warm. Just like to share that since this is a Muslim predominant country, if you plan to swim on the main island, which has just been recently opened. Previously, the Maldives is only accessible via the resorts, but now they're letting tourists stay in the main island. There is an area wherein you could wear your bikinis, which is the Bikini Beach, and that is the only area where you can wear your swimwear. Aside from that, if you plan to go around the Maldives, please do wear your proper attire. Now, let's talk about food. If you will be staying in the resorts, basically in the resorts, you could order anything. They offer international options, from Western to Asian, European, what have you. There's really tons and tons of options. However, if you do stay on the mainland, please take note that the Maldivian food is mostly seafood and it's mostly based under Sri Lankan food. So just take note of that one. If you will be dining in the restaurants, by the way, I would suggest that you give them a call prior to going there. So give them around 15 to 20 minutes of preparation time before you actually go there because they actually prepare your food very fresh. So please take note. If you want to be able to save time or be able to do some more things, please give them a call prior to going to the restaurant. Now, let's talk about where to stay. So in the Maldives, there are 3 options of where you can stay. First one is the cheapest, the mid-tier, and the most expensive one. The cheapest ones, you could stay in the main island or an island of Tulustu and Maafushi. So in these islands, you can get rooms for about $30 to $100 per night. And they offer a lot of good accommodations as well. Some offer bed and breakfast, some offer full board. So just find the resort that is best for you. Next one will be the mid-tier ones. For the mid-tier ones, they're normally found in the island of Fushifaru. This one is in the middle of Tulustu and Maafushi. The accommodations can start from around $300 to $700. And last but not the least, the most expensive ones, which would be the resorts. So from the resorts, it can start from around $1,000 to $2,500 for the rooms that you plan to stay. For us, though, we were very lucky because the accommodation that we had, we got it for around 50% discount. That's why from one night, we were able to book 2 nights on the SO or Sofitel Maldives. Next is let's talk about the accommodation packages in the Maldives. So in the Maldives, there are normally four options. First one is the half board, second one is the full board, inclusive, and then inclusive plus. For the half board, it will be breakfast and dinner. Full board is breakfast, lunch, dinner. Inclusive is the 3 meals plus snacks. And the inclusive plus is the 3 meals plus snacks plus drinks and some other menu or drinks or snacks or treats that are not on the menu. You just need to ask the reception or your butler on what your cravings are, and they will check if they would have it for you. Please do take note that, of course, the prices of these may vary, but definitely it goes way higher from a half board into inclusive plus. And I have some tips on what packages I would recommend personally if you will be staying on the resorts. Please stay tuned until the end of the video because I will be sharing that one. Next is, let's talk about what to do or the activities. So for the what to do and the activities, basically there are really tons. The Maldives being a dream destination, it's really known for, the exquisite activities that you could do on the resorts, which is, for example, sunbathing, just staying in your overwater villa, using the pool, swimming in the beach because it's low tide. The places are really just beautiful. It's very scenic, it's very serene, very calm. Definitely you would get to enjoy your stay in the resorts. On top of that, if you want to be a little bit more active, there are tons of water activities like snorkeling, kayaking, crystal boat, parasailing, dolphin rush, some even have shark swimming or swimming with the sharks. There's really a lot. So if there are certain activities that you would like to do, I would suggest give your resort a call first prior to booking just to verify if they have those, but most likely they definitely will. For us, personally, we just lounged in our hotel and I did some snorkeling because I do want to see what are the aquatic creatures that are in the Maldives, and I'll show you that one in the video. Finally, let me share with you my overall recommendations and for my travel tips or hacks in the Maldives. So first one will be booking your accommodation. So booking your accommodation, I would suggest you use websites like, for example, Agoda or trip.com because they can give you deals on these resorts. As I mentioned earlier, for us, we were able to book the Sofitel Maldives 50% off because my partner has an Accor card wherein all Accor resorts that open for the first 3 months will be given a 50% discount. So if you have those kinds of cards or memberships, please do check that from time to time because you may be given, a discount just like this one. But aside from that, please do look for flash deals on these websites or apps because they can definitely save you money. Second hack will actually be spending your budget or your money wisely. For me, if you plan to do a lot of water activities or activities outside of the resort or your hotel, I would suggest doing that on the cheaper islands, like for example, the Fushifaru, Mafushi, or Tulustu, because they can give you the same type of water activity for half or even a quarter of the price that the resort offers. Most likely they will be bringing you to the same places or the same areas, but the experience will definitely be the same. So please, it doesn't make sense to do the water activities if you are in the resorts because, of course, unless you have the budget, you will be spending the time outside of the resort. Next is staying on the resorts themselves. So I already mentioned, some tips on how to book your resorts. But overall, for the expensive resorts, I would suggest that you only book it 1 to 2 maximum days. Simply because number one, it's quite expensive, and in one day you could get to experience the whole amenities of the resorts. If it were me to do it all over again, most likely I will be spending 2 to 3 days in Fushifaru, Mafushi, and or Tulustu, and 1 to 2 days on the expensive resorts. Maybe I'll try other resorts this time aside from the SO Maldives, so I could get to just compare the experience in the Maldives. Last but not the least, there are options for overwater breakfasts. So these are, the floating breakfasts that you can see in Instagram and what have you. I would suggest just trying that for one morning simply because it's quite hard to eat on a floating breakfast setup. So just take pictures of the breakfast, enjoy the breakfast after that, because I'm quite sure it will be quite difficult for you. So just try it only once for the picture or for the gram. So that's it, everyone. That's the end of this travel video or travel guide. If you have already been in the Maldives, I do hope that you could share your experience as well. And of course, your tips and your experience going to the Maldives. So let's help for each one out in this video. If you find this video helpful, I would appreciate it if you click on the like button and also subscribe so you can help me and my channel grow. So that's it, guys. Once again, this is Paolo and thank you for watching this video. See you on the next one, everyone. Bye!